Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial for the mini and youth makeup. So it's not as intense as the junior and senior, and there's no eyeliner unless you want to use it. So my face is it's clean. I put moisturizer on it and I did put primer on. It's going to help your makeup last all day long, especially if you've got multiple athletes there and you're there all day long. It'll help the makeup just kind of set on there and help it not go anywhere for the day. So first thing I'm doing after that is I'm putting some kind of eye primer on. You don't have to use an eye primer if you don't already have it or you don't want to spend the money on it. Foundation or concealer here would work just fine. You just want something on here to help the makeup stick, look more pigmented, and last throughout the day. I use the MAC paint pods because I've got discoloration on my eyelids. And I'm just going to go in now. I put that on with a brush, but I'm just going to kind of melt it in now with my fingers because they're warm, so it'll kind of help the product set in, and your little ones might not like being poked and prodded too much on the eyes with a brush. Second step, and you don't have to do this one, but I think this is a really good trick, especially if you're not used to blending makeup or you're just not a big makeup person or dad's doing it because you've got kids at different spots. Scotch tape. I'm going to take a little piece. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand first to make it a little less sticky, so whenever you take it off, it's not going to hurt your kid's skin. So right here in the corner, underneath the bottom lash, and it's just kind of angled up now right to the bottom of my eyebrow. Same thing on the other side. Underneath here. Okay. Now I'm going to put a base color on, and this is going to help everything just set. Now if you use or you have just powdered foundation, you can do that here if it matches your kid's skin tone, or I'm going to go in just with a super nude color. It just kind of matches my skin. It's just kind of this one right here. It's not white. It just kind of will kind of help set everything in here. I'm brushing that all over. I don't have to be anything clean here now because I have the tape, so I can just swipe it on however I want. Just make sure you cover the entire eye. And just make sure you go all the way to the tape. I go to the inner corners a little bit too. Just kind of sweep that all over. Next, I'm going in just like with a fluffier brush. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And I'm going in with just kind of this, it's like just a real light, natural nude brown. Now again, you're going to go with your child's skin tone. So this one for me is just a nice color start, and I'm just messily throwing that all over the lid to the tape, into the crease, and blending it in with just kind of some circular motions. Windshield wiper, and then just blending all the way in to the corner. So it's just kind of giving me a little pop color. Same thing on the other side, just all over, into the crease, kind of going up that tape line out towards the end of the eyebrow. And now this is the exact palette I used on Lily in the exact color. So it's the Tarte In Bloom, but I mean, go to the Walgreens and get, just a palette that has multiple browns in it. You do want like a neutral, a lighter one, a medium, and then maybe a darker one. So that's all blended in. Now I'm going to go up top so you can see there's just a shade darker at the top. And I'm just going to concentrate on the outside of this tape line. So I'm going to kind of just brush down the tape onto the lid a little bit, and then just up the crease. It's just going to give me a little definition and a little more color. Same thing on this side. Blend it in. And I don't go the whole way in, I'm just kind of going right up, just like right to the middle of my eye. And I'm cleaning off my brush kind of as I go. Then, if you want to go just a hair darker, just in the corners, we can. Again, go on your child's skin tone and realize that the lights are very bright, they're very intense, and then there's cameras flashing, so you do want this to be darker than you think because you need it to show up with all that lighting. So then what I did with Lily is I just took one of these. This is not black. It looks like that in the lighting, but it's just really dark chocolate brown. I just have this little skinny brush. Actually, I'm going to use one that kind of looks more like a pencil. And you can get these brushes super, super cheap on Amazon or Target. Get the e.l.f. brand, whatever you want to use. So I just took this one. It's just this dark brown. And I'm just lining the top of the eye instead of an eyeliner. So I'm going right out from the corner, really light. And just right above my lashes where you would normally put eyeliner. So it just kind of gives you a little bit of a more intense effect here without the harshness of a liner on the little ones. Starting in the corner. Just kind of smoothing that out. Okay, so now go ahead and take your tape off. So you just have this real clean line. It's not going to fall underneath here, and it'll kind of clean it up. You don't have to worry about it. You can go in there and just use the brush and slap it on, and it'll just come out really clean and really pretty. We'll finish the under eyes last after we do everything else. So foundation. You do want to put foundation on. It's going to really help their skin. It's going to show up more in the lighting. Make sure you're going to skin tone or a little darker. Plan for that if you're going to do any kind of spray tan or anything on them. Make sure it doesn't have an SPF. So if on the bottle it has any kind of SPF 15 or something on it, the sunscreen and the makeup will actually flash back with the lights and the cameras, and then they'll look really, really white and washed out. So you can do like L'Oreal True Match, whatever you've got that doesn't have an SPF. You can get anything super cheap at Walgreens. Just make sure you look at the bottle. Now I'm going in with a damp sponge. You can use a brush if you want to. I just like the sponge. I think I get better control, and when you scrub with a brush, you actually kind of irritate and flake up the skin, so makeup doesn't look as smooth and settled. But whatever you want. So I'm just starting on the outside, and I'm just kind of pushing it into my skin. So these sponges are like 2 for $10 at Target. They're my favorite. They're cheap. They last. Just make sure you wet it and then wring it out before you use it, because you want the moisture of the water to help you blend everything, or it can get really splotchy. Make sure you go down the neck. If it's definitely like a little off on the color, go up the ears. And then just all over the face. I like to start on the outside because definitely, I mean, your babies won't need coverage like we do with sunspots and my lovely pregnancy skin with all this hyperpigmentation that hasn't gone away. Blending it all through. And then we're going to go in with the concealer. This is a super easy one. It's cheap. It's the Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline, Dark Circles, whatever. It's cheap. It's like $7 at Walgreens or Target. And we're just going to go kind of in like a V shape. Right underneath the eyes. Up towards that makeup, or that eye makeup line. Same thing. I can go straight down the nose. and then anywhere else you want to. I like to do right there. Same sponge, going in, blending it out. Just pushing it into the skin, blending it down a little bit. And I'm just kind of pushing. I'm not swiping or anything. I'm just... Kenna says hi. And I kind of just pull it down a little bit. Right up underneath the lashes, as close as they'll let you get. Easiest thing is to have them look at you and then tell them to look up at the sky, and then you can get underneath there because you don't want to have all this on the stop from the concealer. You coughing? Okay, now that it's kind of there, we put that on. You want to use some kind of setting powder. I love the Laura Mercier setting powder, but again, if this is, you know, more of the pricey stuff, if you just want something just for competitions, go to Target, e.l.f., NYX, all those have cheap setting powders. You want a translucent one. So same thing, I'm going in with my sponge, and I'm just going to pack that on underneath the eyes. It's going to set it. It'll help so that if the girls are sweating, nothing's going to run. It'll help catch the next step of the eyes. And I'm going to put that everywhere. I just put that concealer. And I'm going to let that sit for a second for this next step. So I'm going back in with that darker color that I used to line the top of the eye. And I'm just going to draw that right underneath the bottom. Again, I'm going in with this really skinny... Where did I put it? Wrong container. Little skinny, like pencil looking brush. Just something little so you don't have such a thick line at the bottom. And I'm just going to take right up from the corner of the eye, right by the eyelashes, and then right to where, right about here. If you go too far in there, then it looks just a little too intense. So again, right where I stopped, you can see where the tape line is. Right underneath the lashes. And just kind of drawing that in. I got a little messy up here, so I'm just going to connect them a little bit. Eyes are done now. So from here, I'm just going to take a big brush, and I'm going to wipe that off. Now anything that would have fallen from that darker eyeshadow, you can brush it right off. So now my skin just looks, my eyes look crazy because they're super done, and I've just got a flat look color on my face. Now you want to go in with the bronzer. So when I say there's, when I wrote kind of like the shape of the three, you kind of want like around the forehead to bring that color back, and down here underneath the cheekbone, and then down the jawline. So I just have, this is MAC, it's a medium deep brown. Again, go find any bronzer that you want. Anything will work. And I'm going to start right here. I'm just into my hairline, right around my forehead, down through the temples, and just kind of bring some shadow back and color back into my face. I'm going to go right underneath the jawbone, up into my temples, right above my ear, and then now down around the jaw. Hi, sweet girl. I'm sorry. Okay, now since I did that around on my face, I like to do it on the nose too, just to get some color. So you can use that same brush and just go right down the sides of the nose. You can use the eye color that you use. You can use the bronzer, just whatever's just kind of closer to the skin, just down the sides of the nose, just to bring some color back. There. That's done. Now you want your blush. Your blush should be an intense color so they can see it. So like a good pinky peach, whatever you need, but just get enough on there so they can see it. I don't like ones that have shimmer, so anything with shimmery makeup, again, is going to flash back at the cameras. The only time I'm going to use shimmers if I'm going to use a highlight, and you don't have to. So I'm going in now with my blush right over the cheekbones and the whole way up. Make sure you drag that up to the hairline, because a lot of people will just do it right here and then you kind of look like Betty Boop. Drag that the whole way up. I've got all my color on. And I did put some highlight on Lily. I think it makes it just kind of look nice, gives it a little pop of glitter on the stage, and I'm just kind of right on top of the cheekbone. You do not have to do this. Extra fun step if you're into the makeup. Right down the center of the bridge of the nose, and then Cupid's bow. So everything's pretty much done. You want to do your lips now, so of course use a lip liner. It'll help the lips not move, and then of course the stains that Melissa put on there to use, they don't come off on their uniforms, especially like when they fall, they wipe their mouth, they eat. So I'm going in just with a lip liner. Of course I'm not using the bright red because I'm going to go to work tonight and y'all think I look crazy. So just kind of lining the lips. And I like to bring the color the whole way on the lip. I think it helps the lipstick stay on. And then from here, now you put on whatever stain you want. Your makeup's pretty much done. I did put false lashes on Lily. She wanted them. If you want to put them on, go for it. Put the glue on. Cut them to match your girl's eyes. And kind of move them up and down to get that U shape, and let the glue dry for about 10 seconds and then put them on. The glue will stick a lot easier, and it just makes it 10 times easier to put on. So it's done. Before you do any kind of mascara, put your setting spray on now. So you can use anything from, I think this stuff might be $3. It's e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. Could even be like $1. I really like just the MAC Prep and Prime. It's what I've been using forever. It doesn't break my skin out. So if you have whatever you've got, but get something so it sticks. So I'm just kind of dousing my whole face. Let it dry. And then now you want your mascara. So I really like, my favorite is, it's called Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes. This one or the Benefit, yes, they're real. But use whatever you want. Something with a smaller wand is easier for the little kids. So now that everything's just kind of dry, I put my mascara on. Now if you're doing the false lashes, you would put the lashes on first and then put on the mascara. It kind of coats them and blends them together. And you don't really look, they don't look separated, like all of a sudden you've got two sets of lashes. It kind of blends them in. And I like to do a couple coats. Just being careful to letting the top kind of dry before you tell your child to look up, because then they're going to look up and they're going to get it's going to like kind of piece onto the lids. So let it dry, and then I go in and I do a second coat, just the way I look. Nice and thick lashes, especially if you're not doing falsies. But this is pretty much it. So that's your youth makeup. Again, go darker than you think. The lights are going to wash everything out. And of course they've got, all the glitter and glam on their uniform. You want everything to kind of match together at the top. And you'll just get some really great pictures, and they just look really great and presented on stage. And I really do think that when they feel all glammed up, they perform better. So that's how I would do this makeup. I really recommend using the tape if you're new to the makeup blending game, especially with dads. I know some of you are getting onto this. So that's that. And if you have any questions, go ahead and message me. Thanks.